Hey, welcome to Going On Daily. I got phones going off here. This is going to be a crazy, crazy day. Um, Look, I am in a middle of a disaster area at this point. So let me tell you the story. But I gotta say, I am hosting here with Becky Turner.
Good morning.
And now, we got to talk briefly the other day because of, the Stanley Cup, and you just recently came back from Vegas.
Mhm.
At some point, I need some more stuff on Vegas. At
Oh, yeah, for sure.
some point, because I love the Vegas series that you brought us, and I think there's still a little more we can explore there.
You can talk about Vegas all day long,
But we have a great
forever.
show for you. We have a great
Mhm.
show. Well, we always have a great show, right? Look, we have new Olympic sports coming up this year as we head to Paris soon. We have news about the Swifties, I guess, right? You got Taylor Swift coming up with
Yeah.
the craze and conspiracy. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you see my face, how excited I look when I go like
Yes,
this
I
when you
do.
say it.
I see it.
Yeah.
Um, Look, later on at the end of the show, we're going to have the top 5 movies with summer in the title.
Mhm.
Cannot wait. And there's a whole lot more in there to go along with it. So you can't miss out on this. Uh,
Mhm.
so so like I was saying, power went out last night around 11:30. We had tornado warnings. So I mean, it was a complete disaster when I woke up. It was one of those days where when I woke up, I felt like I was camping.
Mm.
No power, and everybody's scrambling to get to the showers and stuff like that.
Oh, no.
It felt like one of those mornings, but I still had no power. So I had to, I couldn't miss the show. Couldn't miss the show. So I was scrambling and scrambling, and I ended up in a couple of towns over, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. I am actually outside the Seed Cafe in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, right downtown. And look, I had my breakfast. I got my orange juice. That's all that I needed, right?
I guess so. You say Pawtucket. I actually thought, like when I hear that on Family Guy, I thought that was a made-up place.
No, it's not.
No, it's a
See,
real place.
it's a real place.
Put you guys on the map.
Yep, yep. So, so Becky, welcome back
Thank
again.
you.
Um, you were on both Monday and Tuesday,
Yeah.
so people need to come and check those shows out. Check
Yes,
out
of
those
course.
shows because there's really not too much that is time sensitive. We have a lot of segments that we do that can be watched at any time,
Mhm.
and frankly, it's the best show. The best show.
It's the best show out there. What are you doing if you're not watching?
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to the first segment, and that is our new Olympic sports.
Mhm.
I love this because it keeps things fresh in the Olympics, right?
It does, and it's not just new ones. I actually found ones that have changed and ones that have been taken away. So,
Oh, so they
yeah.
picked some too.
Yeah, they did, and you'll be shocked by when you hear which ones they got rid of. So, let's talk with the new sports. So, the first one which stood out to me and I thought was very interesting, breakdancing
Wait, what?
or break dancing. I
What?
know. They say breaking, aka break dancing. Breaking must be like more of a hip term for it. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, there's 16 males, 16 females, and they do a solo improvised battle. It's 60 seconds long, and that's how they're going to do it. And they are going to be judged on creativity, personality, technique, variety, performativity, and musicality. So
Performativity? Is this like a new made-up
I
word?
guess that I wondered as I was writing it down, I thought, okay, it must just be like showmanship, you know?
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
guessing. Like That's kind of crazy. What countries are performing? Like, who does this outside the United
Right.
States?
I'm gonna guess it's 16 different countries. I assume maybe it's 2 from each country, so maybe it's 8 country. I'm not sure. I didn't actually look that up. I should have.
Wow, that's interesting.
I'll look it up when you're chatting, let you know. But it's not funny.
Yeah, so Mike is on board. He is,
Morning, Mike.
he was here for the show Monday and Tuesday hosting. Always appreciate Mike.
Yes, we love Mike.
He's out there.
Sorry, you lagged there. Say that again.
So he's out there. So
He's out there.
that's cool.
Enjoying
I
his
know he was a
morning
little
sun.
concerned. Yeah, he was a little concerned I was even going to make the show at some point.
You know what? If it didn't go on today, the people would get their show tomorrow. But we appreciate that you're here. You're in a cafe, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm all hopped up on sugar now.
Orange juice, sugar.
Orange juice.
Wild.
Yeah, I could have added something.
Yeah, like what goes good with orange juice? Amaretto? Is that what you drink together? Amaretto and orange juice? Oh, vodka, right? I don't drink vodka, so that.
For those of you who don't know, it's called a screwdriver.
Oh, right. I did know that. I did.
So what else do we got besides the breakdancing?
So the other one that's new this year is kayak cross. So they do have, things that go like the different boating events, right? But this one
they have the rowing and
they have the rowing. This one is a little bit different. So 4 athletes are going to be competing simultaneously, and that also includes a 360-degree roll of the kayak. Which is scary. That's like my nightmare, getting stuck under that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So they're going to try to do that on purpose.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's just like mid-race or what's happening, but
I like that as an event, though. That seems like it's pretty good. Because the rowing is kind of boring to me. This seems like it's a little livelier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is kind of interesting, and then just 4 competing against each other, which is kind of cool.
I like that Mike is hashtagging stuff as
literally everything.
And that's fine. That's what we like. Get those people here for whatever they're interested in, right?
Yep, that's perfect.
So that's a good one. I like that one.
That's a good one. You'll like this one, I think. A new one, 3-on-3 basketball. Well, it's not the first time; it's a second time at the Olympics.
Yeah, they used to have it before.
Oh, did they? Like long time ago?
Or just in Tokyo? They tried it 1 year, I think, and then they didn't keep it. Maybe it was for the Olympics. I'm pretty sure it was. I think they did it one time.
So a few of them on my list are making their second time, but even still, that's pretty brand new considering the Olympics is
it is
hundreds of years old, right? So this is 3-on-3 basketball, and they play half court, not full court, and they're competing on the same hoop.
Well, that's pretty neat. Yeah.
It's like street
matter
ball.
of fact, now that I think about it, there definitely was in one of the previous Olympics.
I definitely do not remember that.
It had been 2 or 3 Olympics ago.
Yeah, I want to say it was Tokyo. So, I mean, everything from 2020 was a blur, so I can't, But anyway, they play for 10 minutes or to 21 points, whichever comes first. So that is a very short event.
Yeah. It's the skill level is there, so you're going to have players that are used to playing this kind of a game, in half court. So it's nothing that we haven't done, on the courts in the cities and stuff like that. It's always 3-on-3 games going.
So I'm guessing that it is not open to NBA players. Like, how in the Winter Olympics, it's pretty much all NHL guys. Well, some European overseas players, like professional, and then NHLers. Like, is it like that?
I would imagine this is probably a little different. And probably don't allow the players to play. I don't know.
Makes sense.
It does make sense because that would be,
Although I am
separate.
I am torn on that a little bit though, because the people who are professionals are the best at what they do. So don't they also deserve a shot at it? but they're millions of dollars. They can self-fund to go to the Olympics, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's former players.
Yeah, interesting. Mike is saying that the Olympic basketball team is NBA. But what about 3-on-3? Mike, look that up for us.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because
Mm-hmm.
they might have changed the rules for that.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Yeah. Make
So
it open to, people who don't have an opportunity to be in the NBA, but,
yeah,
are still very good at what they do.
and it was interesting too because apparently, Caitlin Clark,
Mm-hmm.
I think, was asked by Italy to play for their team.
Oh, is that allowed? Is she trying?
Apparently, she's eligible to play for them.
Interesting. Because she's
She
like been
turned it
there one
down.
time or something.
Yeah, I don't know. She turned it down though. That's
Oh,
what I know.
good for her. Interesting. So another one that's making its second time debut is skateboarding.
Well, that's not a surprise. I think that should have been in there anyway.
I'm actually shocked in that Tony Hawk era that it wasn't,
Yeah, I
because it
know.
was so popular. Like in the 90s and early 2000s, skateboarding was so popular.
Yeah, Tony Hawk was.
Insane.
Yeah.
Legendary. Yeah. And another one that's making its second time debut is surfing.
Oh,
But what's very
wait.
interesting about this,
In
I know,
France?
asterisks. So it's actually not going to be in France. It is in Tahiti, which is a French territory. And I'm going to absolutely butcher this, Tiahupo. That's where it's located, at the Tiahupo surf break in
Oh
Tahiti.
my god. So it's in
Yeah.
Tahiti, which that's weird. That's a little
Yeah.
far away.
It's a little bit far. You would think
So-
that if they just went down to like the south of France, it's fairly tropical down there, but maybe they don't get the waves.
Yeah, like why couldn't they like go to Spain or something for it?
I don't know. I guess because Tahiti is owned by France. So
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't make it easy for, say, visitors in Paris for the games to say, "Hey, let's go check out the surfing."
yeah, right. Well, I mean, a trip to Tahiti, nobody hates that.
I mean, you literally have to take a plane
Across
or
the
a
world.
very fast boat.
Right? And in 8 days you'll get there.
Yeah, yeah. So there's not going to be a big crowd of tourists going to
Probably
see the
not. But maybe a lot of locals, and who knows? Like, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about this place in Tahiti. Maybe, I mean, they obviously have the infrastructure to handle this kind of tourism.
Well, they have water.
They have water and they have waves, and that's all that matters, I suppose. But I'm sure people are going to want to watch. So we'll have to tune in for that one, because that one is very interesting to me.
Yes. No, I actually enjoy watching surfing.
Do you? I mean, it's very cool. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. There's nothing scarier than a giant wave coming after
Mike and
you.
Rick were talking about that the other day,
Yeah.
and you have to be in shape to surf. I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
I mean, because you have to, like had mentioned, getting up on the board.
Right.
And
That
I'm
alone.
thinking to myself, it's like, can I even do that?
No.
I'm not sure I can do that, because you have to kind of like do like a little hop up from your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I could do that.
I don't even think I could carry the board, Ron. Like,
Well, that's a
This is-
different thing, right?
this is not the sport for me.
And then the fact that there's a shark behind you chasing you.
Literally. And shark seems to be all of our episodes. We talk about something about a shark. So yeah, no. We'll wait until after the Olympics, see if there's any shark attacks. No, I don't want to say that. I'm not.
Oh my God,
putting that
could
out
you
there.
imagine? Oh
Can
my
you
God,
imagine?
that would
They
be a
would-
disaster.
That would be the end for surfing in the Olympics. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, that would.
It
That would really doom the sport.
really put a damper on the Olympics.
Yes, and tourism in Tahiti, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Although Florida doesn't seem to care that there's sharks in the water, that they're swimming in there. They don't learn.
Florida does what they want to do, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
So-
another one that is making its second time debut is sport climbing. So this is like rock climbing.
Yeah.
And- no, you don't like that? Okay, so it's
No, because
broken
it's
down-
all got the little things there, and it's like,
I find it very interesting. So it's broken down into bouldering, speed, and lead. So the bouldering is a 4.5-meter wall. So I don't know if you know meters down there. That's like a
Yeah,
yard, 4.5 yards roughly, with no rope. The speed one is a one-on-one challenge. It's a 15-meter wall that they've got to get up the fastest. And in lead, it's they have 6 minutes to climb as high as they can, and they're competing against each other. So last time it was the scores from all three that decided who was getting gold.
yeah,
This year it's only boulder and lead that are combined, and then speed is a separate event on its own.
yeah.
So I don't
See,
know. I think it's
I
interesting.
think I think it would be much more interesting if you put them, you know, at a mountain that's like straight up and you go at it. First one to the top wins gold.
I suppose. But I also think that weather is unpredictable. So,
Well,
it's
that
a
makes it
controlled
more
environment.
interesting. And the
Well,
fact that you can make it contact. So
mhm.
if you're going up and there's somebody next to you, you can just kind of like
Contact,
kick them off, and then you're
right?
sure to
Just
win.
plummet to their death. This is
Yeah.
like some Sparta Olympics here.
Hey, it would make it interesting. That's
It
what I
would make it
say about
interesting.
golf. You want to make golf interesting, have it full contact. You know, full contact golf.
You probably loved Happy Gilmore.
And oh, I did. That's
Of
my favorite
course you
comedy.
did. Yeah.
My favorite comedy. And with golf, I would absolutely say putting alligators on the course is a must.
Oh my gosh, that's the new trap, alligator.
That's right, alligator trap.
Hilarious. I was going to say that with the lead climb, the one where they have 6 minutes
Yes.
to climb, it's a wall they've never seen before. So it's not like they get to see it and study it. It's brand new, so they have to do it on the fly, like figure out where they're going to go. So I don't know. I think it's very interesting.
Oh yeah, it's a good
It's
sport.
hard. Have you ever tried rock climbing? It is
Yeah.
impossible. It's very hard. Okay, so I've got a couple of changes to the programming. So the artistic swim is what they call it now. I think that's what was it called before? Synchronized?
Synchronized.
Yeah, synchronized. Men are now allowed to compete. And I didn't read further into that, so I don't know if it's a one man, one woman on a team. I don't know if there's two men team. I'm picturing, remember the movie Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell and John
Yes, I
Cena,
do.
where it's like a fairly female dominated sport with two men in it. That's what I'm picturing artistic swim with men is going to look like.
That could very well be.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that will be. I mean, men are so strong, right? If you've made it to the Olympics, especially as a swimmer, you're very strong. So it'll be very cool to see what kind of things that they can do.
Yeah.
Another thing is sailing. So obviously they've already had sailing, but they're adding something under the windsurfing, or sorry, they're adding something under the sailing umbrella, which is windsurfing and kiteboarding.
Kiteboarding. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
kiteboarding. Yeah, interesting, right? And the
I think
mixed
that's better
dinghy.
than actual sailing, though, because sailing to me is kind of dumb.
It's fairly
Not that it's
pretentious,
dumb,
right?
but it's not a spectator sport because
Not
really
really.
you can only watch them finish.
That's
Finish
fair.
and start. That's all you can do. Everything else you don't see because it's out in the ocean.
That's fair.
It's
That's
like
totally fair.
you're waiting there 3-4 hours for them to finish. Oh, here they come! Yay!
Right.
Like you're
Unless they've
not
got drone
watching anything.
coverage.
What are you watching?
That's true. But yeah, windsurfing and kiteboarding. So I
Well,
guess
that's interesting.
weather depending, that should be pretty cool. The mixed dinghy event, and the fin dinghy. They're adding a mixed dinghy event. They said to the 470 category. I actually have no idea what that
Are
is.
they going to be rowing a boat?
I guess so. And then the fin dinghy, which is the longest serving Olympic class, will not be present in Paris.
So basically, your future as a dinghy contestant
Athlete, yes.
is working for a ship, and
Mhm.
you're in charge of the boat
When it goes down.
when the ship goes down.
Okay, I'm
Then you have
looking
somebody that can actually row you to safety.
like that. A dinghy is exactly what I thought it was. I wasn't entirely sure. Everyone's
Yeah,
sinking.
no, it's one of those
Okay.
boats that they put people in
Okay.
and get
Well,
off the ship.
interesting. Well, the mixed dinghy is in, fin dinghy is out. So, in case
I
you were
didn't
wondering,
know the other dinghy was a thing.
I know. And then
We're
there's
still talking about
three.
the Olympics, right?
Yes, we are. We're talking about the Olympics. There are three more sports that were cut, and karate is one of them. And it's not
Oh,
going to
you
be
said
brought
the
back.
fourth?
Yeah, it's not going to be brought back for the foreseeable future. This one blew my mind. Baseball and softball were cut from the Olympics. I know. I'm shocked by this.
Is it because the games lasted like 5 hours?
Maybe I do have a thing here about why baseball is gone. Softball was the other one, but they are returning to 2028 Olympics in the
So then
US.
why get rid of them?
Exactly. So it says that there's a few different reasons. Eligibility requirements for Olympic sports. It says every sport that dreams of gracing Olympic stage must be played by a set of eligible criteria by the International Olympics Committee, like obviously. So it says the first thing is a matter of global popularity and participation. Baseball obviously hit that because baseball is loved worldwide.
Yeah, sure.
So it says next up is tradition. The Olympics love a sport with history. Baseball's only been around since the mid 1800s, which I think is kind of a cop out because it's not like skateboarding is a super old transition or an
Yeah,
old
that's stupid. That doesn't make
or
any sense.
yeah. But whatever. Let's see what else here. It says there's so many people on the roster. Or no, there's so many sports on the roster. So it says that new sports are knocking on the door of the Olympic cycle and they want to promote diversity and innovation, and older sports have to sit out a round or two.
Okay, so my question is,
Mhm.
does France play baseball?
I'm sure of it. I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
I I I wonder the popularity in France. That's
Hmm.
all. I mean, and I don't
Maybe.
care. I mean, I don't care if they play baseball in the Olympics or not. I think it's kind of crazy that it's not,
I'm
but
just thinking about these athletes who have trained for years and are masters of their craft, and then they're like, nah, 4 more years. By then maybe they're too old to play or just
yeah,
have other things going on.
yeah.
It
And
says like there's also politics
but
behind the scenes, so no
but to
surprise there.
be but to be honest, like if it's not there, I don't. It doesn't matter to me.
Hmm.
Because I like watching these obscure sports as well.
Hmm.
You
I
know,
just think there's
so
room for all of them. I don't know. I grew up in a baseball family, so I'm just shocked that it's not there because
yeah.
it's
I mean,
such a world-renowned sport. It's not just like only America plays it, right? Many countries play
I don't
baseball.
even think United States ever win.
Well, no.
Maybe the softball,
Yeah, maybe like
but I don't think we win baseball.
a
I think
Puerto
it's
Rican
like
team,
Japan or
Dominican, yeah.
Taiwan or somewhere like that, or
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. I don't know. I just think that's kind of. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean,
Mike wants to know if Canadians use snowballs. We do, yeah. And they somehow last in 100-degree weather.
yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that's it for the Olympic talk. That
All
is all the
right.
news and the changes and the deletes for this year.
So the Olympics start really soon, don't
Yeah,
they?
July, I think, early July.
That's fantastic. I love the Olympics.
I
I,
do
I,
too.
I love it because I love hearing the stories.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter what country. You
Hmm.
always get those stories of somebody that struggled through life, and then all of a sudden, here they are. They win a gold.
Jamaica, we have a bobsled team. That's what I think of. Obviously, that's winter, but
Yeah,
underdog stories. I love that.
absolutely. So, all right. So you are watching us on YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting. You're also watching us on Facebook, of course, at RI Broadcasting, Twitch at RI_broadcasting, Twitter/X at Broadcasting RI, and Kick at Rhode Island Broadcasting. So you can watch us live on all 5 of those platforms. And, and don't forget, if you're on Facebook or Twitch, you can donate stars and bits, please. That helps with the show and it keeps it going. Because like, look, if we had a bunch of people following us on Patreon, I would be in this studio that would have a generator and we wouldn't have to worry about power outages, right?
Right.
So your help is needed.
Hilarious.
So now we turn to some news. I always seem to be one of these hosts that always brings the bad news.
I mean, you did listen last time when I talked about human trafficking. I was like
Yeah.
the storm cloud on the very happy show. So, I mean, go
And
ahead.
we were all happy, and now I got to bring a downer. So I don't know if people are going to even know who this is.
You
But
always know the most obscure people.
yeah, well, because it leads into what the next topic is, right?
Okay.
So Spencer Milligan, the star of the children's show from way back, I won't say when, way back. That's all you need to know. Land of the Lost.
Mhm.
And I used to watch this show all the time after school.
Oh, okay.
But he just died at the age of 86.
Aw.
They did not release, what he died from.
Shortness of breath.
It's probably going to be out some point today.
Mhm.
But he played the dad on Land of the Lost, and it was great because like it was Marshall, Will, and Holly. So Will and Holly were
Mhm.
the kids. He was the dad, and they were just going down on a raft, sailing the river, and an earthquake came, and they go right into this lost world.
Clearly, Mike has watched it. Chaka, I know that one.
Yes, Chaka, Slee Stacks. Yes, he's got it. He's got it.
Mhm.
Right? So that was the TV show, and that was one of my favorite shows. It was probably my favorite because, like the song, even the song I loved. I even like the theme song, and I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it. I don't want to scare anybody away, but I love the song too. I love the show, and they made that crap remake with Will Ferrell.
Oh, so bad.
So Will Ferrell gets a gold star for Blades of Glory. And he gets a toilet for the
Toilet. Yeah, Land of the Lost was
crap movie,
not
Land of the
great.
Lost.
And you know what? They have that. I don't know if it's in the TV show too, probably not, but on the movie, the chorus line music, God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. It's like over on repeat. And then every time I watch that movie, it's stuck in my head for like days.
Yes, Mike, I understand that they had terrible special effects on TV. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
I need to see this original.
But it was, I loved it. I loved the show. And that made me think of asking you what your favorite kid shows were.
Mine?
Yeah, when you were young.
So I was a kid in the 90s. So I love, oh my gosh, I feel like TV raised me. I watched so many shows in the 90s. Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons.
Yeah, Tiny Toon Adventures. It was like Looney Tunes, but it was all their
the little
kids.
babies when they were young.
Yeah, and Muppet Babies, now that we're on the babies topic.
There you go.
I loved that one. Gosh, what else? Like I watched everything. Like I honestly think that TV raised me. As most of my millennial friends.
That's what it is these days, right? I mean, people are influenced by, everything now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, to the point where my kids are like bored. If something is on TV, they also need to be on phones because like the constant stimulation, they can't just watch a show.
Yeah.
You know which other show that I loved as a kid? Like an older, like 10, 11, 12? Goosebumps. Yes. That one was so scary. And Are You Afraid of the Dark? Did you ever get that? That's a Canadian show, but
I believe it was on here as well.
Scary,
but this was way after I was a kid.
Yeah, of course.
Way after. I go back. I'm a kid from like the 70s.
Okay. So I mean, you were an adult watching Goosebumps. No big deal.
Yeah, no. No, I wasn't watching Goosebumps. I've never seen it, to be honest with you.
Oh, it was
Um,
good.
but
I loved
I
it.
used to watch like Super Friends, the
Okay.
cartoon, Saturday mornings.
Super good.
But I used to watch TV shows like Get Smart,
Mm-hmm.
Don Adams. Oh my God, that was so hilarious. Uh, so I used to watch like Gilligan's Island,
Mm-hmm.
of course, at night during the week. I used to watch Happy Days and Laverne and
Oh
Shirley.
yeah.
So those were my favorite shows, and then
Mm-hmm.
it was sports.
Yeah, of course.
So
What
it
about
was equal
cartoons and stuff though? Because everything
cartoons
that you're
was all
saying is live action.
yeah. Cartoons back then were so much better than now. I mean, we had great cartoons. I mean, we had the ones that everybody knows, like Flintstones,
Mm-hmm.
and the Jetsons came a little
Flintstones,
later, but it was like Yogi
Yogi
Bear,
Bear.
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
So we had all of those
Mm-hmm.
cartoons, and they were fantastic. I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
Loved them. They were so good.
They are good. I also watched them as a kid, and my kids have watched them, so they're one of those timeless ones.
They are. The great thing about the cartoons is that yeah, I get that they were violent and stuff like that, but
Mm-hmm.
it never crossed anybody's mind that you could do these things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it wasn't that made monsters, and I can't stand when they take away these cartoons.
Yeah.
But it was but you get that influence because every single one of them had music, and
Mm-hmm.
almost 99% of it was classical music, and
Right.
people grew up with that,
Mm-hmm.
not even knowing that they like it.
Totally. Yeah, Bugs Bunny for sure. Always had classical music on them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I used to love the old stuff. I don't like the new
No,
cartoons.
they're garbage.
They're terrible.
They're terrible. I know. I tried to put on stuff for my kids when they were younger. I'd pull out the VHS box
Yeah.
and put something in. And I remember the very first time I ever put a VHS in, they were young. They were maybe like 5 and 3 or 6 and 4 at the time. And they were like pressing the buttons on the remote. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why can't
Yeah.
I skip? I'm like, these are the previews and these are the best part. Okay.
Nope.
And then they kept saying, it's blurry. It's blurry. I said, it's not blurry. It's just not HD, you guys. It was such an eye opener.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what we had, and like Mike said, it was the special effects were terrible. Of course, they were
Hmm.
terrible because they just started,
Yeah.
but
It's just
it's
brand
what
new
we had,
technology.
so
Yeah.
you thought it was pretty awesome,
Yeah. You had nothing to compare it to.
right? Right. So I don't know, but that's that. Let's move on to this Taylor Swift stuff.
Okay. Taylor Swift. You have to be living under a rock if you can't see the Taylor Swift craze as of lately. Like she's been
The
around since
Swifties.
yeah, the Swifties.
It's serious when you have a name for the fans.
Right. Yeah, exactly. She's been around since like 2007, 2008. She was just a kid then, but like out of nowhere, she's blown up. Like she's always been popular. Her music's always been decent, but these last 2 years, I would say, she has blown up. And I don't understand why personally, because it's not like her music has changed. If anything, it's gotten a lot darker than it used to be. And people are going crazy for this. So
Mm,
she is now a billionaire. I'm not sure if you knew that.
well, yeah.
Obviously. Yes. She is a billionaire. She has this insane cult following. People are die hard for this girl. But some of her newest stuff over the past year has favored on the side of witchy. I don't know if you've seen anything like that.
Mm.
So, in 2023, she was on tour and some of the ritual type choreography on stage has been said to be witchcraft. Now, of course, people dispute it, obviously, because it's called cognitive dissonance. They don't want to see what's really going on in front of them. But yeah, these rituals on stage, like the one song that she has, I think it's called Willow. She's out there on stage. Everyone's got these masks with like these horn type things, and there's all these orbs floating around, and there's, I don't know, it's like in a forest type thing. It is full on ritual, and anyone who thinks otherwise is, I don't know.
Yeah, you
Lost.
never know. Look, they're so influential, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if they hop on board something, they're gonna get those fans to hop on board on that same subject, whatever it
Absolutely.
may be. It could be just simple as eating a banana every day. You know what I mean? It could be just anything.
100%. And this is why I get very frustrated when celebrities use their voice to endorse presidential candidates, because I think they have so much power and so many blind followers that it doesn't matter what they say, that person's going to go out and do it. So if Taylor Swift says, go out and vote for so and so, which she has in the past, people are going to blindly do it. People who may not have even voted before, or who may have done the research for themselves before, or may have voted a different way before, will blindly go out and follow what she says to do. So to me, I think that's dangerous. I don't think celebrities should be allowed to do that, but
So
Hollywood does what it
Kenneth
wants to.
joined, and he
Hello,
said,
Kenneth.
"Confession: I am a Swiftie."
No, Kenneth, I don't know you, but no.
And then he changed his mind.
You know what? I don't hate her music. Maybe not the new stuff again, but I don't hate the old stuff. To me, there's like nothing really special about it, but it's catchy. I don't know if it deserves the type of cult following that it has. I saw a video this week actually where she is on stage and she's got the whole crowd yelling "F the patriarchy, F the patriarchy, F the." It's like these are kids at your show.
Yeah.
Number one, the language. Number two, like the whole message. It's honestly, it's too political. And I think that as a celebrity, you shouldn't be allowed to use your influence in that way.
You just gotta think, right? You've got to put yourself in the position of you can get things to be done, but make sure that you're doing something positive. Look, I remember Charles Barkley, basketball player, right? He came out and he says, "I'm not a role model." And there was a lot of controversy about what he does and what he says. And no matter how you look at it, you are.
You are.
If you are known by millions of people,
you have a voice. Yeah.
You are a role model. And and I love Charles Barkley, mind you. I love Charles Barkley because he says what he says.
Right.
And he doesn't regret anything. And there is something to be said about that. But he doesn't put himself into a position where he influences people the wrong way.
Right.
That's why I like him so much.
Yes.
And
well, I think in a time where America, for sure, I mean Canada as well, where it's very divided, where traditional values are, a thing of the past. I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can here, Ron.
Yeah, I know. We're trying not to get,
we're trying not to get political, but I just think that at a time where traditional things are going by the wayside, and more promiscuity and whatever is in the forefront, I just think like influencing young girls to say F the patriarchy, and for them to learn what that means and then to follow that. I don't know. I just think it's a heavy thing to put on a bunch of young fans.
Yeah, no, I get it. And this is something that has been throughout music history when you think about it.
Right.
I mean, you go back to like John Lennon. I mean,
That's true.
He always protested everything, right?
Well, and he died for it.
It's no different.
Yeah, you're right.
But you can't steer people in a direction that is just one-sided either.
No. In my opinion, I think every celebrity should keep their mouth shut. And then the other thing too, like, with this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, she just happens to be with, a player who was not that he was unknown before, but unknown to people like me before. And, on the team that was winning the Super Bowl. And then, then he comes out being a spokesperson for Pfizer and things like that. It's just too coincidental to me. I don't think anything in Hollywood is organic, to be honest. I think it's all fairly scripted. And so it just, I don't know. There's a lot of
this show because
Yes.
we don't script it.
That's right.
And
There's
it's live, so whatever it is,
and
is
there's
the
live.
way it
Exactly.
stays.
So whatever I'm going to say, you're going to hear it.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And then the other thing quickly before we change topics here, the thing with Taylor Swift is there's this conspiracy that she is a clone. I don't know where I fall in that. I'm fairly conspiracy minded. I don't know how I feel about clones. But she's a clone of Zena LaVey, who is the daughter of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. So if you look up Zena, Zeena, LAVEY, Zena LaVey, they look identical.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I read a whole article about how they are very similar. When Zena LaVey was the high priestess of the Church of Satan, it was between, I think, 85 and 1990. Taylor Swift was born in 1989. She pushes it very much, like that year. I don't know. You'd have to look into it, but this is a picture. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh my God.
That's a hard picture with black and white, but it's identical to Taylor Swift.
Wow.
So look into that, my conspiracy-minded friends.
God.
It's very interesting. It'll take you right down the rabbit hole.
Oh boy. Oh
Yes.
boy.
Getting everyone to think this early morning.
Could you imagine? Oh my Lord.
Well, I can imagine because I'm so far down every rabbit hole.
Wow.
Ron doesn't even know what to say to that.
No, I don't. I'm speechless because, I mean, when you think about it, it's possible.
Mm-hmm. I think if you can imagine it in your mind, it's a possibility. So that's what I think. I don't know what I believe. I mean, at the end of the day, the goings on of Taylor Swift and Hollywood are not really in my forefront. However,
it just goes to show you what social media has. It has a hold on people.
Seriously. Yes, it does.
Completely. Like, we can't even think for ourselves anymore.
Nope. You can't look at one idea, something that you believe is completely right, and then you can find a million social media posts or articles or completely arguing that, right? Yeah. You could say the sky is blue, and then people on social media attack you because the sky is not blue, whatever. So it's, the social media has really changed the world, and maybe not in a good way.
Well, this is going to be an eventful year. I mean, we're halfway through it. The second half is going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
Second half is going to be watch. I mean, just think about when the presidential election is.
Well, I remember the last one. That was a huge one, and it.
Yeah, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be double of whatever the last one was.
I think
double of everything.
I think so. Yeah, it is. Everyone was just so amped up with COVID in 2020 during the election. Now that people have had a little bit more time to think, they've seen what the last 4 years have looked like. We will see what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. We have, of course, this is June, and it is Pride Month. So I figured, with all the events that have happened already in June, we have one last weekend, left for Pride Month. Mm-hmm. And we haven't really done much on the Pride Month because that's kind of, in a way, it's kind of political.
It's kind of political, for sure.
Because you away from all that stuff, right?
Well, if you don't say anything, then you offend a certain population. But if you do say something, you also offend a certain population. So
right, yeah. So we did, I did like the top 5 gay characters in TV. So
they were all badass.
I'm just gonna let you know when the events are
Okay.
coming up around, you know, United States. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary in Canada.
Oh,
But
there's lots of events in Canada.
yes, so San Antonio, Texas, the Pride Bigger Than Texas Festival and Parade. Couldn't read my writing. Um,
I do
that
that.
is on June 29th.
Mm-hmm.
29th, San Antonio. Also in Texas on the 29th is the Houston, Texas Pride Parade. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're in those areas, go check out the parade and festivals. And June 30th, Chicago Pride Parade on June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Seattle Pride Parade is on June 30th. And the San Francisco Pride Parade and Party at City Hall on June 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And then wrapping up all the Pride stuff is Pride Fest on June 30th in New York. So those of you that are in those areas or want something to do that has to do with Pride, you have those options this weekend. So book your plane tickets and get out there
Book your plane tickets.
because that's where it's at, right? Those are the places where it's at right now.
I am shocked at San Antonio. I guess I just assumed that it was more of a conservative place,
Yeah, yeah,
but
and Houston.
I've heard that Houston is a little more liberal as far as like cities go. I also hear
Yeah.
Houston's amazing. If anyone's been, is it worth going to? Anyway, yeah, that's cool.
Not in the summertime, that's for sure.
Oh, too hot?
I'm not looking to have my skin melt off.
Oh, you're not? Oh,
Yeah.
I am. It's back to cold here in where I live.
It's
So
funny because you get Canadians that want to move down here for the heat. I want to get away
yes.
from the heat and move north.
Well, let's trade, my friend. You will love 10 feet of snow
I
for
would.
6 months of the year.
I have no
No,
problem
you
with that.
wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
No problem with that. I just won't go out.
Oh, you have. Well, I guess if you've got a job that
Just
supports
have
you
it
staying
delivered.
in.
Have it
But then
delivered.
your vitamin D levels have dropped. You're depressed. You have seasonal depression. It's just no.
No,
You need all that outside time.
I don't need it. Because outside you have to deal with people, right?
Maybe not if everyone else is stuck in their house.
So that is Pride.
Yes.
So I hope everybody had a great Pride month. Because we come back. The show returns Monday. We are off this Saturday. So the show returns Monday, which will be you and Mike.
Oh, will it now?
Yeah.
Monday. Let me pull that up. All right, Canada Day.
Oh, so it's
That's
a holiday.
our 4th of July.
Oh, is it? Oh, are you busy? Because I can always have Rick
Well,
do it.
I'm camping, but it should be fine. We can see the trees where I'm at. We'll chat. We'll chat off show.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to our next topic, which I'm on the wrong page. This is Rick Simpson oil. What is
Okay.
this? Is
Rick
this a
Simpson
Canada thing?
oil. Is it what, sorry?
Is it a Canada thing?
Well, he's from Canada, Rick Simpson. So what Rick Simpson oil is a cannabis oil, a high THC oil. Now, Rick Simpson is a Canadian. He was an engineer working in the hospital system. And in 2003, he was really frustrated with the treatment that he was getting for, I think he had a brain injury and he had what is it called? Tinnitus? Is that how you say it? Tinnitus in the ears, where like
yeah.
the ringing. And he had, I think like a lot of neurological things going on. And he just wasn't happy with the treatment that he was getting. And he started growing some pot plants in his yard, which in 2000, 2003 would have been highly illegal. And he started growing them. Now, he was also noticing skin bumps. He wasn't sure what that was. And it turned out to be basal cell carcinoma. So he was like, hey, let me mess around with these plants that I have and see what I can create, as he was an engineer. and he came up with this high THC oil. And so he put it on these bumps on his skin, on the basal cell carcinoma, and within 4 days they were gone. And the tinnitus, whatever, the ringing was gone as well. So he decided, like, hey, I think I've got something good here.
Yeah, let me write this down.
Yeah, Rick Simpson oil. Well, it comes with a cautionary tale, Ron, from my experience. So if we look into THC, so there's two parts, right? There's CBD and there's THC. The CBD is the stuff that just relaxes you. It's supposed to help with muscles and things like that. THC is what gets you high. It's the psychoactive part of smoking weed, right?
Okay.
Or eating it or whatever. The lab tests show that THC can decrease tumor growth and in some cases stop cancer from spreading altogether, while killing cancer cells and also sparing your healthy cells, right? I think I've said in other episodes, like, well, maybe it was just my own podcast, like the earth has everything that we need. We just don't really know how to use it, right? So, yeah. So he was saying that this RSO is what it's called. It can treat multiple sclerosis, arthritis, asthma, infections, inflammation, high blood pressure, depression, insomnia, and cancer. I laughed when I saw this insomnia. Well, it's funny with insomnia because like you smoke a joint, you fall asleep and you have the best sleep of your life. But yeah, so Rick Simpson, he didn't want to make any money off of this. He thought like it was more important to heal people. And so he was just giving out the oil to people he knew for free. That was it. And in 2013, I also can't read my writing. In 2013, the RCMP, which is our police up here, I can't remember. It's too early. Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They raided him in 2013 and they completely cleaned out his supply. And since then, he's had to live in Europe. Like, I don't even think he can come back. And again, 2013, marijuana was illegal. It didn't become legal until 2017 here. So this Rick Simpson oil is, like I said, very high dose THC. So it's a bunch of plants, the indica strain. I think it's 450 to 500 grams of this high quality indica cannabis. And it will turn into, when you process it, turn into 60 grams of oil for a 90-day protocol. So I was given this. So as some people know, I've talked about on the show, I had cancer last year, like a stage 3 aggressive form of breast cancer. And I was desperate, right? I would try anything to be better. And so someone said to me, have you heard of Rick Simpson oil? And I hadn't at the time, or maybe I had in passing, but it's nothing I had thought about. And so they gave me, it cost them like $500. And they gave me this little tiny jar. It was probably about this big. There was an ounce of liquid, like really brown, sticky liquid in the bottom. And they said, do some research on how to do it. But basically, you're going to start very small and you're going to work up to it. So you start off with half a grain of rice size of, and so I'm doing it on here because you just take a toothpick and you just put it on your hand to see that you have half a grain of rice. And then you ingest it. And you do that every day. And I think like every week or every few days, you bump it up. So then it'd be a full grain of rice. And then it'd be like a grain and a half. And then eventually you work your way up to 1 gram at a time because your body becomes used to it. Well, let me tell you, I got a very bad batch. A very bad batch. This is story time, Ron. And so I took it. I was told to heat it up and make it more pliable and then to take it. So I took, instead of half a grain of rice, I took a full grain of rice size. And that's not very much when you figure, I have this container with an ounce of liquid, a tiny little dot. That was it. But I also had taken a bunch and put it on topically because, this guy said that he got rid of basal cell carcinoma with it. So I put it on topically in my armpit under a Band-Aid. So I probably had about this much, if you can see that, topically. And so I took it, whatever. I'm getting ready for bed and I'm on my phone just scrolling, and all of a sudden, like, everything was really funny. And I was like, oh, I'm high from this. Okay. And I'm laughing to myself. And then I'm overthinking. I'm starting to panic. Remember sending a couple of videos to people.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like someone flying off of a water slide. And I thought it was so funny. And then I was like, what if they're offended? What if that was someone they knew? And I started to panic. And I was like, what's happening here? And I had to like take a second and be like, okay, you're fine. You're just a little bit high from this tiny little
So
bit
it
that
made
you've
you
taken.
paranoid.
Oh, and then some. And so I come into my bedroom and my husband's in bed, and I go into our bathroom and I'm just starting to do this. Like, what's happening here? And I come out and I'm panicking. I'm starting to panic. I'm face down on the bed. My legs are still on the floor. And my husband's like, just get into bed and relax. And so I do that and I'm laying there and the room is spinning like a million miles an hour. And then I'm wearing a Fitbit, so I can see my heart rate, and it's like 140, 150. It hit up to 160, and it was there for, I would say, probably about an hour. Again, time is irrelevant at this point. Like, I had no idea what was what, but probably an hour. But when your heart rate is that fast, like, you feel like you're having a heart attack. Like, my chest was very heavy. I was having a hard time breathing. And I told my husband, I said, you need to call an ambulance. And he's thinking, like, you just had a bit of marijuana, like, you're not going in an ambulance. And I was like, call the ambulance. And I hear them on the phone and they're saying, did she ingest anything? And he's like, nope. And I was like, yes, I did. I took drugs. And so, the ambulance showed up and they took me away, and they had to put me on, I don't know, Ativan or Ambien or something. Like, again, I'm not a pharmaceutical person at all. I'm very crunchy. And so they put me on this, whatever it was, to relax me, and then it's making me feel like I'm going to pass out, and my heart is still going, and every time I open my eyes, the world shakes. And so I get to the emergency room, and I know that they're making fun of me because they keep like asking me questions about what I've taken, and I'm like, I don't know, and I'm passing out, and I'm like, some sort of weed product. And anyway, spent the night in the hospital, had a great sleep, woke up completely refreshed, but never took it again. So that's my experience with Rick Simpson oil. Everyone that I've talked to who does it says that they swear by it. It's like legit has cured cancer for so many people. But I just got a very bad batch. And my friends who thought I was making it up or just thought I was exaggerating, her husband took it half the amount of that I took, and he had the same experience. So we got
Wow.
to, yeah,
That's an
that,
incredible story.
right. So I always joke, I say, like, that time I overdosed on weed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I haven't left us any time for your last story.
No, I'll blow right through it. It's not that, huge, but we have the top 5 movies with summer in its title. So, it's very short list. Very short list, and I don't know what just happened. There we go. I had something pop up there. So first of all, I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay.
Gotta have some honorable
Of
mentions.
course.
Summer of Sam
Oh,
and
it's
I
like a
Know
murder
What You Did
documentary.
Last Summer.
Oh,
Those are my
I haven't seen either of those.
yeah. So I have those 2. Actually, I'm sorry. No, One Crazy Summer. Not I Know What You Did Last Summer. One Crazy Summer and Summer of Sam.
Hmm.
Because number 5 is I Know What You Did Last Summer, the horror
Okay.
movie, right? That was number 5.
That's quite a popular franchise for sure.
Yes. Number 4, I have 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, yeah.
That
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Zoe Deschanel, right?
Yeah. That was a good movie, actually.
I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, this is my personal top
Mm-hmm.
5. Number 3, I have Summer School with Mark Harmon. Before
Oh.
NCIS, there was
Oh,
Summer
no
School.
way. No, I've
I
never seen
love
it.
the movie. Love the movie. He played a teacher for Summer School,
Fair enough.
and he didn't want to be there. Kirstie Alley is also in that one.
Okay, I love her. Loved her.
Yes. Number 2, I have Summer Rental with John Candy. Love the
Oh.
movie. Funny.
I don't know
And
it.
that had something to do with sailing.
And he's Canadian.
And he's
Was.
Canadian.
Was Canadian.
Yeah, but he's in the blood.
Yes.
But number one, I have Whitewater Summer with Kevin Bacon, Sean Astin.
Oh,
Love that movie. Love that.
Whitewater Summer. I don't know any of these.
You got to see Whitewater Summer. That one is a must because that's a fantastic movie.
Is
You know,
it?
it's about a camp. You know, a guy that takes the kids out whitewater rafting,
Hmm.
and it gets a little hairy.
Like Deliverance?
Not quite as bad as Deliverance, but it is a family movie.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, kind of crazy.
You know what one you're missing on your list? Wet Hot American Summer.
I did not put that on.
So stupid, but so funny. It's my husband's
was funny.
favorite. It's
It was funny.
ridiculous. The TV show is ridiculous. The soundtrack is fantastic of it. My husband and I do not have the same type of music, but he's downloaded the soundtrack for that. And the
Yes.
music will come on. I'll be like, oh, nice. And he's
Yes.
like, yeah, Wet Hot American Summer. I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's got a great soundtrack.
Yes.
Great soundtrack, and it is funny, dumb but funny. You know. So that wraps it up, Becky. That wraps it up. I want to thank everybody that's been watching the whole show.
Mhm.
Thank you for Kenny to be here, and of course Mike, who will be back on Monday, along with you, doing it again, starting another week of this great ride because we've had such a good showing of fan support.
Mhm.
But there's always could be better, right? We could always get more.
We'll always take more. I
comments.
won't say no.
You know, we want more comments.
I
Join
think
us in the live chat. You know,
we need to do like more
comments.
spicy topics, maybe.
Yeah, well, we had some pretty good ones today. We had the weed.
We had me ODing on weed.
Yeah, I mean, what like story time with Becky.
I have so many stories, so I could for sure.
So get on YouTube, subscribe, click that little thumb on everything we have. Facebook, you know, just look up Rhode Island Broadcasting and you'll find everything. Everything.
Awesome.
You know, all the social media apps, we're everywhere, including TikTok, Instagram. We're on all of them. But the most important thing, I think, is that Patreon. Because now we have videos on there. We got the stickers that should come in sometime Monday or Tuesday. And then we got to work on those shirts.
Yeah, we got shirts in the works.
So look, we're going to have some stuff.
Yes, we are.
And we're here for the long haul. So thank you, Becky, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you with Mike on Monday.
Can't wait.
And thank everybody for watching, you know, and hopefully you participate through those comments down there. And I guess we're heading on out. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.